the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Paulie Howard. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. I would call today's show eclectic, right?
Yes.
We use that word once in a while to describe the guest, Jeff Davis, 30 Minutes, NHL, here at Circa Sports, one of the managers here at the book. And he might give out a couple of futures for the College World Series. How do you like that? Because come June, people are going to be saying, why didn't anybody bring up Mississippi State at 150-1? Well, Jeff Davis might do that today. Steve Wiss in soccer, Lou Finocchiaro later on the UFC, and Stanford Steve on the Super Bowl. The guide came out today here at VSiN. The Big Game Betting Guide, Paulie. Steve Makinen has incredible numbers in here. He also simulated the box score. He has been, by the way, terrific with his simulated box score over the last 4 years. I think overall 6-2 side-in totals. Last year, with that wonky final of 25-22, he almost pegged the exact score. He had 26-21 Chiefs. You can go find it, get the guide today. But I will give you a couple of historical trends in the Super Bowl that you're also going to find in the betting guide. Did you know that the team in this game with the better overall record is 30-20 straight up all time, but has lost 12 of the last 14, and they are on a 1-16 ATS skid since 2004. Chiefs, obviously, they have a better record than the Eagles this year.
That is strong. Great stuff.
The team that is the better playoff seed is also 2-16-2 ATS in the last 28 Super Bowls. You're going to say, well, hold on, 2-16-2, that's only 20. Where are you getting 28 from? Sometimes the seeds will be the same, and sometimes the team will have the same record.
Mm-hmm.
So Kansas City, 15-2 in the regular season. Philadelphia, the 2 seed, 14-3. It has not gone well, to say the least, for the team with the better record. That's astonishing to me.
It is, yeah. That blew my mind.
Underdogs in the Super Bowl, 73.9% over the last 23 years, including 13-4 ATS in the last 17. Again, Chiefs, small favorite here in this game against the Eagles coming up next Sunday.
We've been blessed. We go back to when we were growing up and we were kids. This game was always a blowout, and it was usually over by the second quarter. And it was about the Bud Light halftime and the Puppy Bowl, whatever. And now how this has changed, and it's been great. We've had a lot of great games here going back and close games.
I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah. The Super Bowl is always disappointing.
It was,
when we were younger.
Yeah.
And the NFC used to dominate every single year, and they used to be blowouts for the most part.
Yeah, Bills would get in there, get embarrassed. Broncos and Elway would get in there, get embarrassed, right?
Yeah. I get these numbers are not the be-all, end-all. It's just it caught my attention today reading the Pro Football Betting Guide again for the Super Bowl out today, vsin.com. Teams that allowed fewer points per game during the regular season, they are 8-1 straight up, 7-2 ATS last 9 Super Bowls. Philadelphia allowed fewer points than KC this year. Just below 18 points per game. KC allowed about 19.2. And teams that generated more yardage overall offensively in the regular season, no edge when it comes to the Super Bowl. 2-11 straight up, 1-12 ATS last 13 games. The edge here goes to Philadelphia. Quite frankly, not close. They averaged 367 yards per game in the regular season. Chiefs only 327.5. But again, the team that averaged fewer yards per game in the regular season, that angle says Chiefs here, they've done well in this game.
I don't put much stock into the Fangio stuff, history against Mahomes.
Neither do I.
I'm with you, but also thanks to the emails and tweets, though, pointing out, which I forgot 2 years ago, the field was a mess, and the DBs were on skates, and maybe that played a big role into what happened in the second half with Philly not being able to stop Mahomes.
Also saw this on social media. Ralph Michaels has been in this racket for a long, long time. He had a great tweet looking at the last 15 Super Bowls, and he sends this out every single year with basically how these props have trended. How about this? The team to score last has won 15 straight games. And I have not seen that number yet at a sports book. It used to be around minus 135.
Yeah,
I think that number is long gone.
Sorry, Caesars has it. I forgot the price.
Okay.
Yeah.
but 15 straight.
Mm-hmm. I think last year it lost team to score first win the game. That lost with the Niners too, and that's a nice plus price if you bet that.
You like to attack games, big games, like no score first 5.5 first 6. Is that your plan in this game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they offer everything with this one though. 3.5, 4.5. Yep.
The score in the first 6 minutes, 7-1 to the no. Last 8 Super Bowls. 0-0 has been the winning first quarter score in 5 of the last 10 Super Bowls. Now, how about this? 14 straight teams have won the coin toss and deferred. The Saints were the last team to receive against Indianapolis.
Oh, good.
So that will be out there too, right? The team that wins the coin toss, what will they do? Will they defer or will they receive? That prop, it's probably out there already. I just haven't seen it yet. But 14 straight?
What would you do if you're Sirianni? You want the ball? Or you try to stop Mahomes right? I'm sure he'll defer, but I'm trying.
I like the idea of deferring. What did Michael Lombardi, former host here for many years on VSiN, always preach? The middle 8 minutes are so important. So I think that if you could somehow find a way to get the ball back with around 4 minutes to go in the second quarter, the same team that's getting the ball after halftime, so you're going to get the ball to begin there, hence the middle 8, I think that's too big to pass up. I think that's better than having the ball early on. A run was the first play in 5 of the last Super Bowls. Before that, the pass cashed 4 straight. A safety cashed 3 years in a row, going back to the Giants, Patriots, Ravens, 49ers, and of course the Broncos, Seahawks, when that game started off with a safety and sportsbooks got murdered on that prop. The no safety has been a winner in 10 straight Super Bowls since.
Interesting.
But always a very big number and always one of the most popular bets made by pro bettors.
Yeah. Caesars has first play of the game over under 3.5 yards. And that goes back to what Andy Iskoe has been saying, although he's off it now, but it was bet both quarterbacks first pass incomplete.
Incomplete, you're going to get 2-1 or more. Mm-hmm. And if you hit one of them, you're going to be a winner.
Some lunatic bet today $100 at Caesars on 7-5 Eagles first quarter score to win 20,000.
7-5.
7-5, you bet. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the 5 can be there 2 different ways, right? In theory, the safety and the field goal would be the obvious one. Well, you could do it multiple ways, but you could also score a touchdown, go for 2, get it, and then score a touchdown and kick the extra point. Is anybody that mad? Would Sirianni do that? Right? Because it could be a Chiefs penalty.
Could be a penalty.
On the extra point, Eagles then do the tush push from the 1 yard line. Mm-hmm. They get it. There's the angle.
Yeah.
I like where that guy's head's at.
Okay.
Now, you bet this one earlier too, right? Successful 2-point conversion.
Uh-huh.
The no was 6-1 last 7. But I also feel like that's just completely random.
Yeah, probably. But I think there's so much opportunity here in this game.
Sure, there you go.
With what we have. But also, maybe you're better off betting just the attempt. And you get small plus price on just the attempt. But
right.
I think they can get it done in this game.
You know, I went back and looked today, too. Like the last, I want to say since the year 2000, so we'll call it the last 25 Super Bowls, there is that narrative out there that the Super Bowl halftime show takes so long that these teams are going to be cold and rusty coming out, so not a lot happens. I did like a cursory glance today. Got to tell you, it's the exact opposite. Third quarters have been, I'm not going to call them like super explosive, but if you're expecting like low scoring under that third quarter number, the total, or like 0-0, that doesn't happen that often. I'll have more numbers either tomorrow on the show for the third quarter specifically, or probably next week, that kind of made me raise an eyebrow looking at the numbers.
Interesting.
Because that thought is, what do we have, like a 40-minute halftime show?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But we've had some points, man, scored in that time. Where are you at overall with your number of bets at this point? You were really on fire at the end of the show yesterday.
Yeah, I got like 20. We'll see what it is all said and done, how we get up there. But, hey, and the big nights tonight. You know, the Westgate comes out with their huge packet. And it's always a who's who of the pro bettors and people who like to do this stuff. And probably Frank B is in town. And
he is.
Go down, Rufus Peabody and everyone going down to the Westgate. And Jay Cornegay was always the king of the castle doing this, even when he was at the old IP and bringing his game to the Westgate. Now John Murray runs it. It's awesome to see everything they come out in the packet. Ed does a great job. Jeff Sherman, everyone over there. And they'll do that tonight at 7, and we'll get a recap of everything that was bet, what moved, and what they were thinking with Jeff tomorrow. He's on with Matt Humans following us. So it's a big night, and that's fun. And I'm sure the creativity and imagination will be off the charts tonight, and we'll add some more stuff after their, 200, 100 pages, 200 pages,
Whatever, yeah, it's
whatever
crazy.
it is, it's great. Yeah.
I mean, to give them credit again, because they were always, you're exactly right, for many, many years, like they were the first to post them all up on a Thursday night. And, it was a pro bettor's dream to come in town and then, get in line and then make 2 bets and go to the back line and make some more bets. The cross-sport props that they come up with are still that's the industry standard, because they will have probably a couple of pages at least of tying in passing yards overall in this game to the combined score of the winning golfer at the Waste Management. I mean, it's brilliant stuff they come up with, and not every year do I make bets on them because they're tough and the numbers, might be pretty good overall. But sometimes you might find one that you're like, that's interesting. I think it can go this way, and I like that bet.
Yeah. Frank B. mentioned it last year. I think it was touchdowns in the Super Bowl against the goals in the bean pot.
Yes.
And he thought he had something there, too. It's great. Whether you're a seasoned bettor or just joining the action, Super Bowl success starts with the VSiN Super Bowl betting guide. It's packed with everything you need to make informed wagers, the preview, the top trends, what Mackinnon has, as we talked about, final score predictions, MVP picks from everyone. Don't wait. Become a VSiN Pro subscriber today. As little as $9.99. Get your copy of the guide. VSiN.com/subscribe. Sign up now. I went 30-28 Chiefs and went Kelsey MVP. VSiN.com/subscribe. Oh, boy, we stepped into something today, my friend.
Yeah. Imagine signing a 4-year, $100 million deal, and now you're under investigation. Details on that coming up here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
If you haven't heard of the story yet today, there is a reason why we are bringing up the name Terry Rozier. It's not just a random occurrence here today on the program. Like, I love his player prop tonight. Not happening. Terry Rozier has been in the NBA for more than a decade. He has averaged 14 points per game in those 11 years. His career earnings, you don't even want to know. More than $130 million. And his recent contract is, 4 years, $100 million?
He's halfway through that.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so what's the story that came out today, Paul?
Federal prosecutors have been investigating whether Rozier manipulated his performance as part of an illegal sports betting scheme. It's part of a wider government probe into a ring of gamblers and poker players who have allegedly rigged games across the sports landscape. Wall Street Journal broke the story. The same investigation led to a criminal charge and lifetime ban from Jonte Porter. Now, 5 people have been charged and 3 have pled guilty. So you wonder,
already?
Yeah, if they have the goods here, would they roll over and sing on Rozier potentially? Authorities believe some of the people who arranged for Porter to fix his performance in 2 games last season had inside info that prompted them to bet large sums of money against Rozier a year earlier. The game in question is March 23rd, 2023. The difference here is this guy was making $500,000. No one knew who he was. Porter, as you said, 4-year, $100 million deal, and all the money he's made. Authorities also are exploring if it ties to college basketball, and they think they could tie into what happened with the Temple nonsense last year. What was going on when those were going crazy. First halves, it was something we haven't seen before.
So the whole gambling ring would have been around Rozier, Temple, and maybe some other stuff as well.
Yeah. He hasn't been charged with a crime or accused of wrongdoing. It couldn't be learned if investigators have determined whether he deliberately helped bettors. In March 2023, the NBA was alerted to unusual betting activity related to his props. They conducted an investigation, did not find a violation of NBA rules. He's on the Hornets. The betting on Rozier was strange enough that day to raise alarms at U.S. Integrity. They notified sportsbooks and the NBA that unusual wagers were coming in on Rozier to go under his benchmarks. He was a 21-5-4 guy at that time. Some sportsbooks stopped accepting bets on his stats that day as well. During the previous 2 seasons, U.S. Integrity sent out just 3 alerts about NBA games. 2 of them were games involving Porter. The other one was Rozier. He started that night Was good to go. Was one of their best players, averaging 35 minutes and 21 a game. What do you think happened?
2 of 14 from the field.
He left the game with an injury.
Even better.
After 9 minutes, he came out with a foot injury, didn't return. It was at the back end of the season. They were a bad team. I'm sure there was something tied in with draft picks, ping pong, lottery odds, whatever. He did miss the final 8 games of the season. But maybe it was speculation he could, if you play in that game, about, hey, I know I'm hurt. I'll come out here maybe, give it a go for the first 9 minutes, and then that'll do it. Or it was, okay, well, listen, you're not feeling well. You left with a foot injury. We're just going to shut you down anyways. It's at the end of the season, and they were struggling. Sports bettors noticed, after what happened, conspiracy theorists running wild about it was odd and sketchy and what happened, that the guy comes in, plays 9 minutes, and then bam, out he goes. But this guy, as you said, a long career in the league, $100 million and averaging more than 28 minutes a game with the Heat as well. This was nuts. And I go back to my argument, interview, whatever you want to call it, All-Star Weekend 2007 with David Stern, when I said, you shouldn't be worried about anything. We should get a pro sports team. It's impossible to fix a game. These guys are making so much money. He didn't like the question, whatever. But at the time, though, as he was condescending toward me, he knew. We didn't know yet. But the FBI was following Donaghy around.
That's right.
But this is wild that you would think, if this is true, what could happen? Maybe more to the story. The Porter thing, I could see it. This, 4 years, $100 million. Oh, man.
This is unreal. I mean, again, his career earnings to date, according to one website, is $133 million. That doesn't even include all of this 4 years, $100 million that he's in the middle of right now. So what's the thing? What's the issue here then? Because Porter, you're right, he's probably wanting to strike and make a quick rich scheme here, making only $500,000, and he figures, hey man, if I can manipulate my playing time and hit a couple of big parlays, that's going to basically give me what I'm making full season.
Yeah. Porter also was in deep with some debts too, but yeah,
right,
got that, yeah.
So with Rozier making that much money, are you just bored? Is that the point that you get to in your life when you make that much money and you need some excitement? It doesn't do it for me anymore. Playing in the league for a decade, yawn. I need some more excitement, or something along the lines of this guy's always been willing to gamble a little bit, and he has that itch. I don't think this happens overnight, Paul.
Yeah, I don't know,
dude. Making that basically on average $25 million a year, you're going to get approached by people who can get down large sums on parlays and other props, and you're going to say, yeah, that sounds good to me. What?
Remember the Seinfeld episode where Costanza sleeps with the sleeping lady, with the cleaning lady, and then he pleads, was that wrong? Should I not have done that? It kind of goes back to maybe you don't realize how bad it is at the time, or you think, because remember when you see all these scams and all these incidents in college basketball, a lot of the times, and remember Headache Smith at Arizona State, the comeback was, hey, it didn't sound that bad at the time. We could still win. We just didn't have to cover. Or, we could do that. It wasn't a big deal. We were still winning the game. But here, maybe just thinking, I'm going to help out a friend, whatever. Hey, okay, I'll throw you a bone. Hey, I'm going to come out and leave with an injury at the time. Maybe, I don't know. But it
that's
goes,
also college compared to a guy who's been in the league for 10 years.
Yeah, sure. But remember Calvin Ridley. How many guys have we had in the NFL where, I made a bet, I was in the facility? Is this frowned upon? I got a 6-game suspension. I mean, how many times do we have this stuff happen where guys would just make stupid mistakes and Ridley's betting parlays, though?
I would also, but the Ridley thing never even bothered me, really.
Okay.
He's making same game parlays. Do I have this right? Was he hurt at the time? Or was it not quite at that point, and then they gave him the full year suspension? Regardless, he was making parlays on the NFL. Okay, whatever. That's not a big deal compared to something like this.
Yeah, right.
No, this is like blackballed for the rest of your life. And,
yes.
Probably if he's guilty, I mean, you're looking at some severe jail time. And I'd say rightfully so, by the way. The thing, again, you're making that much. But this is why, again, your question to David Stern that, many years ago, we all just assumed that these players are making so much money that they would realize, I'm not going to be stupid and get involved with some sort of a gambling ring, right?
I know.
But that also probably chalks up to this guy, the IQ overall here might be a little bit low.
Well, and they're going to grab you, too. So, in addition to Porter, 5 other men have been criminally charged and 3 have already pled guilty. Wow. We just had the incident 2 weeks ago. David Purdom was on the show. They grabbed the guy out here at the airport. He was going to Colombia with $10,000 on him.
Right.
And he was the guy who was like, Porter told him, don't say anything. Keep it on the down low. And this guy's texting all his buddies.
Singing like a canary.
I got all this info. Hey, Porter's going to leave with an injury tonight. Let's go.
Hey, buddy, why are you going to go to Colombia?
Yeah, but also
I need my teeth fixed.
Yes, right. But it also goes back to, these poker players and what they're doing in this group about they're getting into college and Temple and the UAB thing. And it also goes back about, you're trying to have someone come over here. You don't want to make any sudden moves. It's annoying. The one guy's betting an $80,000 same game parlay to pay $1 million. And that triggered set off the alarms too. It's like, what are you doing?
Now, was that with Rozier? Or that was Porter?
That was Porter.
Yeah,
that was Porter. But but tied into the other guy too about, the Rozier thing I could see in terms of I'm betting Rozier stuff under, but you gotta hit it here, hit it there, hit it a couple times. It goes back. You walk up to the window, say, "Give me this for $200," and hit it again until you run out of paper. It's not $80,000 same game parlays like what they were doing with Porter, but also but with Rozier, you're right. If you're gonna say I didn't even know who the guy was, but you're saying give me the Porter stuff under heavy. The Rozier stuff, at least, okay, there could be an angle there. The guy's 21-5-4 and a known player and had a good career. Maybe you just think, all right, that whatever it is, they could shut him down and not going to have a good game. But
I'll give you an example. I bet an NBA, one specific player, his props tonight, like I have inside information. I don't. I'm taking a shot with it because I think the angle absolutely exists for him to go off in this game. But, I'll give you details on who that is coming up a little bit later on in the show.
I knew where it was going when I started with the story. I go, I'll bet your ass he left with an injury.
He left with an injury?
9 minutes in, foot injury.
There you go.
Now, the thing that helps him out is he didn't play the rest of the season. But was there stuff with shenanigans there? And
that could also be I don't care what you guys tell me, my ankle's not right. He could be lying.
That too. Yeah, I know. A lot of layers to it. A lot of layers. In sports betting and trading, probability is key to success. Discover the power of high-probability trading with Todd Bubba Horowitz, former floor trader and sports bettor, 45 years of experience. BubbaTrading.com/VSiN. Get a free ebook on options trading and use code VSiN500 to save $500 on any purchase now. BubbaTrading.com/VSiN.
I'm not exactly buying. I've been in the NBA for 10 years. What's this sports betting thing? Oh, I'm interested. Jeff Davis, manager here at Circus Sports, on the program coming up next. We'll kick around the NHL card and buckle up future numbers that he likes potentially here to win the College World Series.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Okay, so we're going to try to reconnect with Lou Finicaro in about 15 minutes to go over his best bets in the UFC this weekend and the Super Bowl as well. A couple of technical difficulties here, so hopefully we can get that ironed out in the next 15 minutes. The VSiN Super Bowl betting guide is out today, Paulie. A couple of really cool numbers over the last 15, 20 years. You get your hands on the guide today at vsin.com/subscribe. I will admit, everybody here at the network gave out their Super Bowl prediction and MVP, but yours truly. No excuses. So I saw Adam Burke's email early in the week. I put a reminder in my phone for Wednesday night to go and give him my pick and the MVP. And then I went back and I got the email last night and I'm looking through it and I forgot about the part that said, yeah, picks are due by Tuesday, like at 5:00. And I felt like a total loser. So my pick would be around 31-27 in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm going to bet exact scores.
All right.
Both ways. Chiefs, Eagles to win each of them, like 31-26, 31-27, and 31-28. I'll bet those. So I'll bet like 6 bets there. They're all like 150 to 1. Have a little bit of fun. Probably some pizza money on those. And pretty light card over me so far for the Super Bowl. I'm still trying to develop, and I'm waiting for more props to come out, to be honest.
Oh, you'll be fine.
I'll have 30 by the time.
Once you talk to Bovey and Frank B and McKay and they unleash hell tonight at the Westgate, you'll be dancing.
Now, this from Makinen in the guide, again, available today, vsin.com/subscribe. The team with the better record going into the Super Bowl, all-time 30-20, But since 2004, the team with the better record has lost 12 of the last 14, and they are on a 1-16 ATS skid. Also, the team that is the better playoff seed, 2-16-2 ATS last 28 Super Bowls. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No good there for the Chiefs this year if that continues. Underdogs in the Super Bowl. Philly, a small dog here in this game, but they are 17-6, 73.9% over the last 23 years, including a 13-4 ATS run in the last 17 games. Teams that allowed fewer points per game during the regular season, 8-1 straight up, 7-2 ATS, last 9 Super Bowls. Philly allowed 17.8 points per game. Kansas City, 19.2. I will flip it here and give you one that has favored, well, if history would hold here, it would go Kansas City's way. Teams with more yards overall offensively in the regular season, 0 edge in recent Super Bowls. They are 2-11 straight up, 1-12 ATS last 13. Philly, huge edge in overall yards per game, 367 to 328. I'll round up there for KC. So, and he has many more like numbers over the years that you can get at vsin.com/subscribe.
I'm surprised the shortest touchdown that's 7-2 the last 9. I would think that seems that happens every big game, and it's not that difficult to do.
You mean so
the
it's
1
under
yard touchdown?
1.5?
Yeah, the under 1.5. Yeah, that you get the 1 yard touchdown, and that prop is available, by the way, for both teams plus 310. But it just seems with what you have, tush push and going back, always seems to be a PI or a call like that comes in. Yeah.
No, I'll give you this too. I went back and looked last 5 or 6 years at fourth down conversions.
Good.
Because you think, right, like it's going to happen a lot.
Yeah. Eagles are $7.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Kansas City's $2.
So last year, Niners, Chiefs, each team only went for it one time. They each got it. The year before that, Philly was 2 for 2. KC did not have a fourth down attempt.
Rising.
In that 38-35 game, right?
A 38-35 game. Yeah, well said.
In 2022, the Rams went for it once. They got it. Since he went for it 3 times, they only got 1.
Yeah, right off the bat.
He hated Zach Taylor doing that.
Yep, sure.
2021, KC went for it 3. That's the game they got absolutely buried. They went for 3 fourth downs. They only got 1. Tampa Bay was 0 for 1. The year before that, KC was 2 for 3. The Niners, 0 for 1. And the year before that, it was a pro bettor's dream come true. You want absolutely nothing to happen in the Super Bowl? Well, nothing did happen. The Patriots beat what was the final score? 13-3?
Yes.
Something like that?
Greg the Leg missed with like 50 seconds left to make it 13-6.
13-6.
I thought no touchdown was definitely in play.
Oh, it was.
It was. I mean, we're talking late in the game, and then the Patriots finally punch it in. I'm like, this could be a 6-3, 9-3 final. This is crazy.
I think because that total was so high in the game, like mid-50s, and nothing happened in the first half, that the second half total was like 28 or 28 and a half.
I couldn't believe it.
You were on the air, and you're saying,
air.
How are these teams going to score?
Yeah, Goff was shook, too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I couldn't believe it.
But in that game, the Pats went for it only one time on fourth down. They did not get it. The Rams never went for it on fourth down.
Yeah.
Also, some other historical numbers.
Yeah. The all-timer was also New England-Philly. Brady throws for 500 yards. They lose the game.
I know.
So much stuff cashed in that one.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Foles with the touchdown catch, and you also had Brady was wide open, too, if he would have hit him. And you got that prop now that's popular where a quarterback catch a pass. But that game was nuts.
Are we getting points in this game?
Feels like it. Yeah.
Like you can find 48.5 right now. 40, all those numbers are key. 47, 48, 49. But 49 is a key number.
Yeah. Well, yeah, again, strange things happen, though. You go back, everyone thought New England and the Rams were going to be high scoring.
Right.
And look what that turned out to be. But I thought last year was going to be high scoring. Could have finished 16-13, something like that.
I'll also give you some, over the last 10, 15 years or so, Ralph Michaels has done a great job with this over the years. He's been in the gambling space for a long, long time. He tweeted out yesterday, like Super Bowl trends with props. The team to score last has won 15 straight games. That used to be, and that prop's going to be available everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? And it used to be about $1.35 or so. I still don't think it's like out of control. It's like $1.60, $1.70 maybe. But 15 straight there. You like to bet no score, like first 5, 6, 7 minutes. The score in the first 6 minutes, 7-1 to the no. Super Bowl squares, 0-0 has been the winning first quarter square in 5 out of the last 10 Super Bowls. 14 straight teams have won the coin toss and deferred. You have to go back all the way to the Saints-Colts Super Bowl. New Orleans won the toss and they received. A run has been the first play in 5 out of the last 6 Super Bowls.
That's surprising. I never would have guessed that. Seems to me teams have come out throwing.
Yeah. And what did you see? First play, 3.5 yards?
Yes.
All right. The no on the safety has been a winner 10 straight Super Bowls. There was that stretch 3 straight years before that where it cashed every single time.
The more I think about it, one of the most egregious calls is now the safety, intentional grounding on Brady. There was miscommunication. The guy ran the wrong route. Brady threw it deep. They called us.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And now they won't call it ever.
True.
So what happened with Darnold and Goff and the playoff game with Stroud? Like they refused to call it, but they called it on a miscommunication with a quarterback and a wide receiver. Nuts.
Yep.
Andy Reid could do it, though. We'd see him take one on purpose. Do it intentionally. You know what Harbaugh did? Same thing. All right, run around back of the end zone.
People are sports books and ballrooms will be going bananas under that scenario.
And I did that. I was on that year. That was 2 months after Megabucks.
You were on the no?
I was on the safety.
Okay.
That's when Harbaugh took it intentionally. And it also put the game on 3.
Yeah.
And you also had a kickoff return in that game. That game had everything.
But think about that scenario where the team is up by, you got to have it's got to be a 2-score game. So you're up 11, 12, 13, 14 points in that neighborhood. And they're pinned deep. And there's a minute to go. It's 4th and 13. Why not? And if they would do that, the whole place would lose their minds. Books got murdered the first play of the game, because that specifically was 50 to 1, 100 to 1, whatever it was.
Yeah, first score. First play of the game.
First play of the game, safety. Was it Tony Miller?
Tony Miller. That's a great line. He had to call his boss right away. We're in a hole we can't get out of.
Can't get out of after the first play of the game.
Yep.
Wow.
That's surprising. Successful 2-point conversion, the no 6-1 last 7. And then there's the shortest touchdown, as I mentioned as well. Our buddy Glenn Quincy Mass, who we met at Foxwoods, always likes that. And he pointed out it comes in big games all the time. But 7-2 the last 9 years.
Yep.
Under 1.5 shortest touchdown.
So you're not going to get my prediction. You just did on the air, but you're going to get everybody else, the host here on VSiN, their predictions. You're going to get, by the way, Makinen simulated the box score, and he has been very close the last 4 years. It's awesome. The overall final score, what these players are going to do in the game, you can go get it today at vsin.com/subscribe. It gets better every single time. It's the VSiN Super Bowl betting guide for the Chiefs and the Eagles. All right, so we're going to try to reconnect with Lou Finocchiaro coming up next. We'll get his best bets in the UFC and his thoughts on the Super Bowl number as well. This is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Busy hour coming up. We will get into Do You Concur in 15 minutes. Their youth and experience will come back to bite them in the playoffs. Ooh, that's juicy. Tonight's NBA card and in-pocket plays. We begin the hour with a bang. It's been a minute, but Stanford Steve, kind enough to join us here on a Thursday, and he is on the Progressive guest line. How are you, pal?
Great to see you guys. Catch so much more of you now. You're in actual real people hour. You guys look great. Your time of year, you guys. Although I will say, Paulie seems a lot more dialed in right now with the props as Mitch. Mitch, you seem like you're a little behind. Are you?
I know I am. I got to be honest. At Thursday, the week before the Super Bowl, is probably the fewest props. I'm still trying to formulate. I've gone back and forth too many times on this game. Part of me wants to really get involved with the Eagles. The other part of my brain is like, hey, dummy, it's so I can't get over that part when I want to put my props together. But you're not there, huh? You have a ton of props already?
No, I don't. I'm with you. I think the game's super complicated because of seeing it 2 years ago. But knowing how many guys, I mean, look at the Eagles defense. What is it? 8 guys are gone from that defense that the Chiefs lit up. And the Eagles and Roseman have done a great job of drafting. So I look on the other side. I think you get more creativity, more variety on the Chiefs side. And I was looking at some Pacheco stuff. You could get him rushing, receiving right around like high 20s. He's still getting over 5 yards a carry since he came back. He caught 2 more balls in the AFC Championship. I think that's a guy. I mean, he's back as healthy as he's been since he's come back from the injury. I look at him. I look at like a Noah Gray. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I really do.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I do. I look at both defense. I mean, obviously, Spags and what he's done has been well documented, but they're going to have a plan. Like, nothing motivates a defense more than to say stop a run game. And they've done a great job of piecing this defense together. I think they did a great job of holding this team together while the offense was trying to figure things out. And now, they played their best game, obviously, in the biggest stage, and that's why they're the Chiefs and nobody else is. But I could see Saquon obviously is going to be a priority, and Sirianni being a little stubborn, and the Chiefs holding him down, and the Chiefs, have a chance. Obviously, they're favored. I lean Chiefs. I just think there's more versatility offensively and defensively. And if you're going to say, and everybody, I get it. Jalen Hurts was incredible in that game, but he also fumbled the ball and turned the whole game around. And when you're playing against 15 for Kansas City, you got to be perfect. You saw it again with Josh Allen Sunday.
Yep.
He wasn't good. Josh Allen, there was plenty of opportunity early on, and you know that going in to Arrowhead when you're playing in the Arrowhead Invitational, and they weren't good enough. And the Eagles have to be an A to A+.
It really gets interesting if Philly comes out again and they want to throw early. Because, Barkley was great. He had the touchdown right off the bat, but only had 15 carries. And then Hurts makes the comment that Sirianni let me be me. And they have so many weapons and what he did in the passing game. That really could open things up and make it interesting. What's the case for Gray then? Is it just a touchdown? Is it a big part of the offense? Because I agree with you. This is funky from a prop standpoint because against Houston, it was all Kelsey. No one else did anything. And then last week, no Kelsey. It was getting everyone involved and 8 guys caught a pass.
Yeah, that's the number, right? 8. 8 guys, and Mahomes is not afraid. He trusts a lot more now. And I think getting Hollywood Brown and now Schuster, like those were just guys that were open because of what the Bills did against Kelsey. So that's where you're saying it. It's going to come down to personnel. That's the magic question. What are the Chiefs going to be in? They have everybody, at hand. They go and get Hopkins. He's another receiver. Are they going to try and spread the Eagles out and dice them, as you saw Kareem Hunt early on against the Bills, or are they going to line up and try and pound them? They could go 2 backs. They could go 3 tight ends. You bring in Watson, and that's a whole other factor. But that's the nuance of the Chiefs. You don't know what you're going to get, but when that game plan comes, it's going to be very direct. And you saw how they opened up Buffalo on that first 90-yard drive. So with Gray, I'd say anytime touchdown I would look at, but maybe catches and yards. I think he's only 11. That could be 1 catch.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at that, and I also look at Goddard on the other side. Chiefs aren't great against tight ends. I think Goddard, the way that system is and the open looks he gets off of run action.
Yes.
They just
it's
throw
easy.
him.
It's
they
easy.
Throw him into 11-yard gains,
Yeah.
So you saw him, bump off a guy, stiff arm a guy. He's elite in that level. He's as healthy as he's been, and I expect him. I think he's the best bet for over yards when you're looking at receiving for the Eagles because you don't know where McDuffie's going to go, and you don't know what Hurts is going to lean on offensively. You know how much he loves Goddard and how much of a difference maker Goddard is.
Yep, totally agree. Based on that, I did bet Goddard earlier in the week at 12-1 most receiving yards.
Get Mitch in the game.
That's great.
But I like what you're thinking, right? You're bringing up the idea of Pacheco, like he's going to get involved somehow in the game, and his numbers are so short. That's usually who I like to attack as well. And we had Sal Paolantonio on Wednesday. And he kept saying, yes, the numbers for the Eagles against tight ends are good, but trust me on this, the middle of the field is always open. And he kept saying that. So obviously that's going to be probably a little bit of Kelsey, but Noah Gray shined multiple times this year. And you're exactly right. Mahomes is not afraid to spread it around to guys who are open.
No, and to Sal's point, look at the Bills game. Schuster, a couple catches in the middle. They go to Hollywood Brown, a couple slants early on in the game. They will use, and that's what makes it so maddening to have to defend them, guys, is they use guys with different personnel groups, but they're running the same stuff. So when they say the middle of the field is going to be open, they're going to dice it up because they want different guys to get there. They could use Kelsey, running a quick out and then open up the middle of the field, whether it's a running back on a Texas route, whether it's another tight end, whether it's an outside receiver running an underneath route. That's what's great about the creativity of the Chiefs offense. And I just feel like you could get more value. And I think it's an under game. Therefore, I look at the guys with the lower numbers because everybody wants to get in on some props. So I look at the guys with the lower numbers as being more valuable in this state.
Excellent. What's it like working with Saban? What's he like off the air?
Oh, the best, the absolute best. Was fortunate enough when we did the back-to-back game days at the Orange Bowl and Cotton Bowl. There was the weather issue in Dallas, so they got a PJ for us, and I was able to sit next to him and watch the end of the Orange Bowl, Notre Dame, Penn State, and we sat next to each other, chopped it up. He's going through down and distance situation. He's doing the clock in his head. It was awesome. But as good of a guy as there is, just being through what he's been through, and then just to hear how he learned and went about things, it's just so smart. He's done everything. He's talked to everybody. He's been everywhere. You just sit back and listen. I constantly have a pen and paper. Whenever he's talking in our meetings, it's that pen's going right to the paper with what he's saying.
Damn right. Did this season exceed your expectations, the first year of the playoff?
Yeah, it did. I can remember being in Ireland, week 0, guys, and he brought up the idea. Like, think about, everybody wanted to bring about the bubble in the college basketball tournament, right? But it's not that. It's more invested fan bases that have a chance, and that chance was the back end of the playoff. Now, no one saw the issue coming with the seeding until we got there, and Boise State did what they did, and Arizona State did what they did. So I think that factored into the whole nuance of it and the newness of it, and it generated. I mean, every place we went was off the chain. I mean, we're at A&M for that rematch, Texas A&M, Thanksgiving weekend or the whole year we thought we were going to be at Ohio State. That place was nuts. So, I mean, every place, the Indiana story, we were able to go to Bloomington and Columbus for their game there. So it was great. We were at every big game, the Oregon-Ohio State game, part 1 in Eugene. What a day that was. Incredible. The Berkeley scene, just insanity. It was
it's only by the way, it's only going to get better. Like, they're going to tinker. They'll get this stuff figured out.
Yeah.
Right? You have a college basketball play tonight?
Listen to this. This is good. No, it's a future.
Oh, it's a future. Okay.
Yeah.
Future.
Take a look at Maryland.
Oh, they're good.
Take a look at Maryland and look at their schedule. And I know some people pointed out yesterday with Michigan State how they're undefeated in the conference play. They haven't really played anyone. And listen, Izzo is as good as there is. But just the price is plus 1,900, I believe, on DraftKings. Probably, I think we looked it up.
Correct.
It's worth a shot. They could run the table here. They honestly could. They have shooters. They're really well balanced. They have a really tough matchup when they play two bigs. And again, the kid Gillespie they got from Belmont's fantastic. And they play D out of their butts too. So they are a formidable opponent. They're a dangerous team. Look at them in the Big Ten and obviously in March.
19-1 to win the conference.
19-1 to win the conference.
Regular season.
They are.
Yeah, Michigan State to come to them.
They're 7-4 in league play right now.
Yep.
Michigan 7-2, Purdue 8-2, Sparty 9-0. But you're telling me that the schedule is so easy that it might not have another loss.
And Michigan State is to flip the total opposite way.
Yep. Okay. So if you like the Chiefs,
keep an eye on it.
Yeah, sure. I'll monitor. I'll shop around during the break. If you like the Chiefs, then I'm guessing you're going to go Mahomes MVP.
Yeah, I guess.
Even a low scoring game, like who
What's
else?
Chris Jones?
70-1, 60-1.
Flyer there.
Okay.
Barkley has like 62 yards. Jones just is awesome the entire game.
Yeah, I the way they move around him, and Chris Jones does a really good job of lining up on who he wants to line up on. Just always watch that. He's good. And the Eagles got guys that they lost 2 starters. Those guys aren't going to be 100%.
Point.
With Juergens and Dickerson, that didn't look good.
I know.
So
tush push, can't do it.
A lot of work cut up.
I'm with you. You can't do the tush push. It was horrible.
I love the plus 310 though. Both 1-yard touchdowns, Paulie.
Thanks. All right.
There you go.
Caesars
Double
and
up
Will
on
Hill,
that.
by the way.
All
Okay,
right.
good.
Double
Thanks.
up on that.
Pleasure, buddy. Thank you for the time today.
Love you guys.
Good
Talk
catching
to you
up.
soon.
Love you too. There you go. Stanford Steve on the Progressive Guest Line. KC in a low-scoring game. Chris Jones, MVP. Their youth and experience will come back to bite them when it matters most. Do you concur? Next on VSiN.